Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. It's Nick from Claret and Booze and this is my daily ramble. What a lovely Wednesday morning. The Academy of Football appears to be back. We've done a double. Unbelievable performance last night from the boys, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about that first. Then we'll touch on the Liverpool game and what my thoughts are about that. And then we're going to touch look, the Moyes debate rages on Twitter. There's still a lot of there's a lot of animosity between fans still. You know, I've been getting a bit. We're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. So if you don't want to listen to that, then just, once we get past Liverpool, turn it off. Okay, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And as always, please drop a like on it as well. So the Academy of Football, it appears to be back. The under-18s have been amazing this season. They'd already sewn up the league. They'd won that and had to go to the Emirates last night against Arsenal, who are a good team. They had some really good players, and beat them on their home turf. West Ham fans turned out in their numbers. We had 8,000 fans, and I'm pretty sure if we'd have got double that or triple that, we probably would have filled the allocation as well. So an absolutely amazing turnout from the fans last night. They really showed their support. You'd have thought it was a first team game from the way that we was supporting our lads. And what an amazing team we've built there. Honestly, you can kind of understand now why we've cleared the decks. Obviously, we never like to see young players leave, but we've seen quite a few go in recent months, and I think it's probably to clear the path for these boys that are coming through, because there's quite a few there that are not going to be that far away. They're not. They've got a lot of character as well, these boys. In the first 10 minutes, Terry, the goalkeeper, brilliant save from a free kick from, I think it was, I can't think of the kid's name. I don't know the Arsenal player's name. It might have been Rosiak or something like that, but it was a brilliant free kick, tight in the corner. Terry's flown over, made a great save. And then a few minutes later, they got their goal. It was a bit of a scramble. Terry saved the first effort, parried it out, and then I must admit they did dispatch it really, really well shortly after that. But our heads didn't drop. We just carried on going. It seemed to sort of spike us into gear a little bit, going a goal down. No sign of any heads dropping or anything like that. Got back into the game through George Urphy, who surged through the middle of the park, tried to slip a pass through, but it got blocked. Fell back out to him, buried it in the far corner. No messing around at all. From about 18, 20 yards, really, really good strike. That pulled us back into it. And then it felt like almost immediately after that, ball finds its way out to Kadua, our captain on the right-hand side. Apologies if I'm getting these names slightly wrong. But Kadua was a fantastic player. He whipped a wonderful ball in, one of those crosses that you can't defend, in between the keeper and the back line. Callum Marshall comes in, bang, 2-1. Now we're in front. We're sort of growing into the game. We're controlling it. We're not going gun-ho. Really good tactics from Kevin Keane versus Jack Wilshere. Because, like I say, Arsenal had some incredibly good individuals. Their number 7. I can't think of his name, but he was a tremendous player. Very, very tricky. Same number as Saka, same style as Saka as well, same style player. And then the third goal came, probably the best of the lot, came from an Arsenal defensive mistake. You've got to feel sorry for the kid, really. I don't know what he did. He wasn't really under much pressure, and the ball's just completely gone under his foot. Kadua's just pounced on it, surged through, and from about 35 yards, he's seen the keeper off of his line, just clipped it nonchalantly over the top of the keeper. Well, it weren't a clip, it was a drive. He drove it over the keeper. Brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant goal. Fantastic. That's what I mean. These kids are winners. They are. And long may it continue. And then into the second half, obviously, it was more on the onus for Arsenal to come after us because they were 2 goals down. We kept control. We kept control of it. There was a bit of a nasty incident later in the game where one of their players has left his foot in on our keeper, Terry, and then Casey, our centre-back, number 6, I think it was, he got involved and just, a little bit of pushing and shoving and verbal. Just what you do. You back up your teammates, didn't you? He got a yellow card, and then the next time we went down the other end and got a corner, he pops up, doesn't he? Casey leaps like a salmon. Absolutely brilliant header at the back post. Knocks it in, 4-1. And then quite an amusing one. Briggs, massive kid, number 16 came on, and his first involvement in the game was for a corner, for an offensive corner, He's come in and literally with the first touch, he buries it. 5-1. I mean, that is how you win a cup final. They won it in style. Fantastic from those boys. I will be keeping a much closer eye on them now. I don't know enough about them. I should have been keeping more of a, I wish I had been. I wish I'd seen these boys come through, 15, 16, 17. But it's never too late. So I'm going to start taking more of an active interest in these lads now, because I don't think there's no two ways about it. We're going to be seeing a good group of players emerge from that team into our first team in the not too distant future. So keep your feet on the ground, boys. Keep your heads down. Keep working hard, and hopefully we'll see you all in the London Stadium, sort of running on for the first team in, like I say, in the not too distant future. We don't want to wait too long. So keep on working hard. Well done. We're proud of you. Right, so that's done. West Ham have won a cup finally. One more thing. How nice was it seeing that little FA Cup with claret and blue ribbons on it? Oh, that was nice. I've never seen it. I've never seen West Ham win a cup in my lifetime. Not live like that. And I was alive when we won the FA Cup in 1980, but I was only 5 months old, so it don't really count for me because I can't remember it. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. It's been a good week to be a West Ham fan this week, isn't it? It has been. And that takes us on swiftly to tonight's game against Liverpool. John spoke about it a little bit yesterday. But what to expect? What to expect tonight? Well, I'm expecting us to go at them in exactly the same way. I did the video a few weeks ago where I said that David Moyes had been given, and he was told that it was going to be all over in the summer. He's got until the summer. Then there was a mutual agreement. David Moyes has basically said, I said this back then, it was a few weeks ago, that he was going to take the handbrake off and they was going to go for it, and he was going to try and finish his tenure at West Ham on a high. I think that's what we're seeing. I think that's what we're going to see. I'm not expecting us to be gun-ho, because we haven't been gun-ho, but what we've been is a really effective counter-attacking outfit. We have been. And it's an adaptation of the original Moyes system. The original Moyes system that was so effective when he first came in. We're catching teams out again, because that's how it was successful first time around. You know, when teams like West Ham, you know, typically opposition like Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, they don't take you seriously. So they pour at you. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold pours, that leaves loads of space in behind. They don't care because they just think they can outscore you. Well, we was hurting teams. We was hurting them. And we was picking up loads of points. We was doing really well in the league. We was a bit of a force. We was good from set pieces. And then what happens is you become too good at that. The opposition work you out and they stop allowing you the space in behind. They give you more respect and they say, we're going to sit here. We're going to let you come at us. You be creative. And that's where the problems have occurred with David Moyes. And that is why he was tasked with this rebuild, to change us to a more progressive team, because people were not letting us play like this. Now they are, because they seem to have forgotten that we're good at something. Long may it continue. I hope that Liverpool do exactly the same thing tonight. I hope they come out the blocks, they tear at us, they leave loads of space in behind, and then we can just pick them off. We can just pick them off like we did Arsenal, like we did Bournemouth. And we don't need many more points in the league, so let's just go out having a bit of fun. Like I say, it is an adaptation of Moyes' ball. It is better because Moyes prided himself on a low block. So we typically, you stand there static, you have a shape. You wait for the, you wait for him to get to the last line of defence, and then you press, and then you try and win the ball back. Well, we're not doing that now. We're trying. It's a mid to low block. We're winning the ball in midfield. Paqueta, Souček, Rice. We're being aggressive. We're saying you can have the ball in your own half, but once you get into our half, we're coming after you, and we're chasing them down. And that is what you've got to do. You've got to, don't even let them get near the last line of defence. You know, and that is what we've been doing. It's been fantastic. You know, we've been nicking the ball off of teams. All over the middle of the park. And yeah, it's good to see. And the other thing that we're doing is, rather than typically in Moyes, it's no coincidence that Antonio's looking better now and stuff like that, because we're not just aiming hopeless balls up to him on his own whilst everyone meanders up the pitch and stuff like that, you know, expecting him to hold the ball up for ages. No, we're not. Our transition is quick. Paqueta's looking better. His passing's better because now he's got passing options. We've got bodies getting forward. Everything looks better. You know, back when Paqueta was getting caught on the ball and stuff like that, you could say it's because he weren't used to the Premier League. Go back and have a look at the clips. It's because Paqueta had no one in front of him to pass to. So he's on the ball, he's looking, he's like, fuck, what do I do here? Now that's not the case. Now he knows what he's doing. Now we've got runners left, right, and central, and he's got a midfield partner that's up with him as well to kind of help him out. It's much better. Like I say, this is far better and far more suited to the players that we've got. But it is a short-term fix. It's a short-term fix because, like I've said before, it will get stopped. It's very easy to stop a counter-attack. If it is, you just don't play so expressively. You don't allow your fullbacks to get up the pitch. You show the opposition a bit of respect. That's what was happening before. If we start getting too good at this again, it will happen again. We do need to progress into this a different style of team now. If we want to go to the next level, if we want to crack that top four, that's what we need to do. And we need to suffer teams that are like us at the moment, teams that are just happy to not have the ball, and then they'll just sucker punch you. That's basically what we do at the minute. And it's fine. It works for us now, but moving forwards, that can't be the way that it works. And we all know, David Moyes has admitted it, he can't coach that football. This is back to basic stuff. And the basics are working, and long may it continue up until the end of the season anyway, when I hope and pray that David Moyes keeps us safe, wins us a cup, and sails off into the sunset, and we can all move on with our lives. I don't want him to stay here beyond the summer. I really, really don't. I know people are getting excited now. I know they are. There's a lot of channels, there's a lot of accounts on Twitter that are coming out, people crawling out the woodwork saying, oh, see, you all went too soon. All went too soon. You're having a laugh. We had 18 months of shit. 18 months. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It was a sustained period of being awful. So, no, we were well within our rights to want David Moyes to leave then, and we're well within our rights to want David Moyes to leave now. I accept there's two sides to the argument. I accept that, but mine will never change. I want West Ham to progress and to move on, and we can't do that with him. It's as simple as that. So, thank you, David Moyes. I hope you have a good end to the season, but then I hope you go. I hope you disappear from my footballing life. that's my dream. But against Liverpool, yeah. So I'm hoping that that's how we set up. I'm hoping that we can. We've just got to get at them. They're not a great team this season. We know the individuals that they've got. We know the threats they've got going forward. Nunes, Salah. We know the names. We do, but they are vulnerable this year. They've not been the same team. They're not. You can get at them. Bournemouth beat them. You can beat them, and you haven't got to show them so much respect. And like I say, I'm just hoping that that David Moyes will not play the badge. He'll play the team. But I don't think that is going to happen. I think we will play the team now because, like I say, I think it is more of a collective effort now. We can see now that David Moyes is talking to his coaching staff a lot more. We know that Mark Noble's been seen coming out of the changing rooms before the players walk out before each game. He's getting involved. I think the mandate when they had the agreement for David Moyes to continue through to the summer was that it was a collective effort. Everybody worked together. Everybody's ideas gets listened to. So whether that be coaches, whether that be senior players, whether that be the director of football, and then collectively you make a decision on how you tackle a game and how you approach it. It's much, much better. Yes, David Moyes is a man on the sidelines and he will reap all of the plaudits, but that's fine because, at the same time, he's going to get all the criticism when it goes wrong. And it just doesn't matter. The guy's done well for us overall in his tenure. The last 18 months have been dire, but the 18 months before that were brilliant. Let's face it. Very, very good. So, on the whole, if he leaves us in a position where we're in the Europa League next year and we're still in the Premier League, he's left us in a very solid position because we've got the players to play a progressive game now. There's a big rebuild coming again in the summer. They've got to get the appointments right. And I'm really excited. Something is clearly... something has happened behind the scenes that is really, really positive. You can see that in the players. And it isn't just a win. Because we've beat Fulham and we've beat Southampton. You didn't see anything like what we're seeing now. The players are unified. It's like a massive weight has been lifted. And that weight has been lifted. And we know what that weight is. So we can all enjoy the run in to the end of the season. I think we'll pick up a few shock wins. I'm not saying tonight. Might be a bit of an ask because these fixtures, they're every 2 days, 3 days. I mean, he's got to rotate his team. He's got to do that. He's got to freshen up some bodies. But I'm not expecting a win tonight, but I'm expecting a performance. That's the momentum that we need to maintain. Not so much results, because we don't need to win every game. We're not playing for anything in the Premier League. We're just playing to survive. We've virtually done it. what we've got to do is maintain these performance levels. That's it. If we lose 2-1, 3-1, but we play brilliantly, I'll take that. I don't care. I think we can win. I'm not going to predict to win because typically whenever I predict to win, it never comes off. So I'm not going to predict anything. I'll just let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let me know what you think is going to happen. I'm confident. I am confident that we're going to have a good game anyway. So look, that's the under-18s done. That's Liverpool done. Now let's move on to David Moyes and the ongoing debate that we're having. It's not a debate; it's an argument. There's a lot of ferocity in the West Ham fan base still. I got a comment on my last video that I did after the was it after Arsenal? I think it was after the Arsenal game. And no, after Bournemouth. And I had to delete it. And I'm not one for deleting comments. You know, we get a lot of trolls and stuff like that. But this guy, Jesus Christ, you know, he came out and he said, "You guys are a joke. Your whole channel is an absolute mess. I'm amazed you've got the front to come back online after you've disrespected the best manager of our entire history. Why don't you F off and die and take your kids with you?" Yeah, block, fuck off, mate. He's gone. It was quicker for me to block it than it was for him to write it out. And that's what's going to happen now with all you little cretins that come out of the woodwork. And I ain't saying that everyone that's Moyes in, by the way, is a cretin. There's a lot of people that still support David Moyes, a lot of good people. There's a lot of good people that support Moyes out. One thing that we're aligned on is we want West Ham to do well, but we've got different ideas on the manager. But it's these extremists that you've got. It's the Moyes extremists, and there are a lot of them. These guys that seem to support the manager more than the team, you know. And I know it works both ways to a degree. I know we've got an element of fans that want David Moyes gone so desperately that they would rather West Ham lose to see him go. That's a little bit mad as well. Although there is part of me that gets that because people think it's a good scenario. They think that he's so damaging to the club. They're fed up with him. They're sick of his football that they'd be willing to take a hit on a few results just to get him out. I do get it. It doesn't make you a bad fan. It just means that it's a sad indictment of how the board have allowed this to escalate to the point where fans are having to have that thought process. You know, we should never be in this situation. But look, they rolled the dice. They gambled with David Moyes because it was a gamble. It was 100% a gamble. No one knew how this was going to play out. No one could foresee that we was going to go on this little run, apart from maybe bloody Nigel Khan, who predicted 22 points from the last 12 games or something. But he's always positive, isn't he? He'll always err on the side of positivity. I don't know if there was much realism in there. Although, I say that, it could play out that way, you know. So who am I to pick holes in that with the way that it's looking at the moment? But nobody could have foreseen how this was going. It was a massive gamble from the board. It's paying off. It's not genius. It's luck. It was looking incredibly, incredibly bad. Although they have intervened. We know they've intervened. So they've done something. They've done enough to push us over the line. But they won't want that. They'll kind of, to save their own face in the media, Sullivan will want it to be seen by everyone else that he was right to stick with the manager. Look at me. While everyone else was doing this, sacking their managers, you know, I know what I'm doing. That's the rhetoric he'll stick with. No, Sully, no. It would have been very difficult for any manager to get this group of players relegated. David Moyes has given it a very good go. But yeah, it's luckily it looks like we're out of the woods on that front, and we can all focus and concentrate on the job at hand in Europe. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Lifting that cup. But yeah, so I think with the fans, I don't know. I think this is going to continue up until the end of the season. Listen, I've seen it all before. I was Moyes out way before most, 99% of channels. I went very, very early, back when it wasn't fashionable to be Moyes out. It was very unfashionable. I was getting loads of abuse, but I believe what I believe, and I stuck with it, and I still do now. So I saw all the abuse back then. It all went quiet. They've never gone away. They've just gone into hiding like Spurs fans, and then we've started picking up a few new better results, and they've crept back out again. Very, very strange groupies. They're either West Ham fans or David Moyes has got a very big family. I don't know. It's very odd. Like I say, I can understand liking David Moyes, but not at the expense of West Ham. And what we've been watching for a long time now has been turgid. So let's just enjoy the rest of the season for what it is. Take the results. Take the results. If David Moyes gets a pat on the back, let him get a pat on the back. That's absolutely fine. As long as he moves on in the summer, we're all happy. You know, hopefully we get a cup, something I've not actually witnessed in my lifetime. And yeah, we get a new progressive manager who's got a great foundation of players that can play in a progressive way. So it's all good, you know. I think there's good times ahead for West Ham. I am quite positive about things. I'm still going to be a little bit of a nervous wreck until he's gone because I do desperately want him gone. I can't help it. I hate his style of football. And I know that what we're seeing at the moment, it is temporary. It will go wrong again. We will get sussed out and snuffed out like we did 6 months into last season. The opposition figured it out. You know, it will happen again. And he's only got one trick. Just one trick. But look, that's it from me. Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment sections on West Ham tonight. And whatever else. And I will speak to you all soon. Cabin you heads.